And I don't think a lot of people your age are interested in politics in that way, so that's also very cool. Good for you.
Thank you. How did you react when you found out that you would become the Attorney General?
Yeah. So when I found out, it was through a conversation with the Premier. That's usually how it happens. I think I was a bit stunned, actually. When things happen in politics, they often happen very quickly. Like, you're very stressed out because you're running a campaign. You don't know if you're going to form government. You form government, and then in the situation, the next thing is like cabinet decision. So it just feels very high pressure at the very beginning of a government. So there's not a lot of time to process, I guess. So when I was told that the Premier wanted me to step in the role of AG, it was a real honor. I think I was shocked for the first little bit. I think I called my parents and my partner, and that's when it kind of hit, and they were excited. So yeah, it was really quite an honor, actually. It's a nice moment.
What got you into politics?
So probably a little bit like you, I was really interested in, like, I'm not in politics necessarily, like you're very focused on that, which is great. It was more community involvement. Like, I was just really interested through the role modeling of my parents and things, just always being involved in community events or volunteering and things like that. So I think the kind of public service part of that was part of my upbringing. And then when I got older and I became a lawyer, I just got involved in policy development stuff. Like, I had a friend who was running for politics locally, and I thought she was incredible, so I decided I would help her on the campaign, and it was my first exposure to what happens in a campaign and what that's like, which is, you can't learn that stuff anywhere. And she asked me to get involved in some advisory committees after she got elected, so I got to see kind of how government works a little bit behind the scenes, or part of the processes, and just was asked if I was interested in running at the next election, and I think I just thought, why not, and tried it out, and just really loved the fact that when you're in government, you can help change systems for people. Like, I think that's really quite a privilege and an honor to be able to do that, and just really loved that. So then kind of stayed with one foot inside of politics and ended up here.
From what, like, information you could give, what could DRIPA 2.0 look like in the fall session?
You know what, I'm not really prejudging it right now. We're right in a process right now where a lot of people have presented their ideas, and we're listening to a lot of people to figure out how we solve what is a real problem, but also take all those ideas into a process that will land us somewhere. So I'm coming into it kind of with an open mind. So, you know, I think it'll be, first of all, it has to fix our challenge with the legal decision that came out, but also I think we need to really recommit to the work that we're doing and how it benefits people, and have a chance to bring everybody along with it.
As Attorney General, what is the hardest part about the job?
I think a lot of the work that I do is, there are always tough decisions. Like, a lot of times the choices that are before us when it comes to decisions before me in the role, there's not an easy path. So you have to figure out what's best and what will benefit the most people, and what you believe your values are in that situation. And I think that's just part of the job. I wouldn't say that's extra tough. It's just a responsibility I have. And you know what? I'm not a huge fan of question period. I think it's important, but I think we've really gotten away from reality sometimes when we talk about political discourse, and that's my least favorite part of the job. Like, I love to have real discussions about how we make things better and what the solutions are. And I think sometimes with the political rhetoric and the atmosphere that we're in right now in politics, it can be based on just things that are not real or not true or don't really solve a problem, and that bothers me.
How did the Bill C9 update come about?
It would be Minister Gibson that really saw the origins of that in citizen services. just to say regularly we have to update legislation. It's just a necessity because things change, processes change, we learn about things that need to change. So I don't actually know the tracking of what the origin story of that is. It's a question that she would probably know the answer to, but I don't know for sure. But I know that there's also work with the Privacy Commissioner. Sometimes our independent officers, like it happens with me, they give us ideas or recommendations of stuff that needs to change. So it's kind of an iterative process, that whole legislative amendment making.
What does a normal day look like as Attorney General and Deputy Premier?
Every day is so different. Like, we stayed up till 4 a.m. last night. So that's not a typical day, but it does happen. I find that when we're in session, you just have to expect the unexpected. Just be ready for things to come that you didn't anticipate, whether it's an issue, whether it's something that shows up in question period, whether it's, the votes in the House and how the House is going and, filibustering and all that stuff that happens sometimes. It just makes it very dynamic work environment. So my day, every day is different. It can be like this morning I started with, the real morning ended at 4 o'clock when we were in the House till 4 a.m. last night. I woke up and had radio interviews starting at 8, a few of them, on a topic. Went into question period, have had meetings ever since then of just different issues, either their minister briefings or their policy decisions or their stakeholder meetings, and then strategy sessions, those kind of things. And then part of the legislative process I have a role in, so anytime there's my legislation in the House, so I have to go and carry the bill. So, and then on Fridays when we're in session, usually it's my community office. It always is my community office. So tomorrow I'm in my community meeting with constituents over various things that are concerning to them or they want to talk to me about, which I really love. It's a lovely work. We get to solve problems for people in a real way that are there, like government actually solving problems at the human level, which I really love. So, and then there's events too that come up or we're speaking at or we're attending. So.
What advice would you give future generations who would want to get into politics?
I think the best thing to do is attach yourself to things you're really passionate about. If you're involved in politics, I would say the best politicians are those people that come to it thinking, I'm here because I want to make this, that, and that better in the world. And that means something to me. And so you're tethered in a value or a belief or a drive. And also I would say life experience is so valuable. So the times that you're out there where you're volunteering in community groups or you're sitting on advisory committees, like if you're getting involved in government or how policy impacts people or how communities are feeling or hearing, you start to learn a lot. You learn a lot from listening and understanding other people and their challenges. And all of that is so valuable if you're a politician because you can come to it knowing how to solve problems through understanding lived experience that people are having. And I would say being in politics has to be not only a passion, but also a drive to do something. Because the best politicians, I think, that I admire the most are the ones that are trying to change something all the time. So not just as a job, but as a calling or something that they're like, I don't know how long I'm going to be in this role, but while I'm here, I want to do as much good as I can. So I think that's important.
Could we see more treaties with First Nations come about before the fall session?
I know there's a lot underway. It's such a good way to bring like certainty to both the First Nation and the province and the people in the area. And so I know that the Modern Treaty Commission has a few underway. I'm not sure there's 2 right now that are before the House. I'm not sure the exact status of when they'll be done because there's a lot of moving parts usually on them. But I know that there's more in the works, so they should be coming up soon. So yeah, lots of work underway on that.
What do cabinet meetings mostly feel like?
Yeah, so cabinet meetings are they're usually very important discussions that are had there. It's all confidential, so everything we talk about is under cabinet confidentiality. It's usually very respectful. Like there's a range of different opinions on a topic, as it should be, right? Like you need the range of British Columbia or different lived experiences and perspectives to make better decisions. I find that we're very collegial and oftentimes at the cabinet level, bringing together the different levels or different perspectives is how you get to more complete or full solutions. And you're always going to have challenging discussions. So.
I only had a few questions formed.
You're done. So tell me why you're interested in politics. I'm curious. What's the passion? It's very cool at your age.